Hey, what's goody, Frye gang? Oct, better known as her stage name Deadfish, was a very promising and respected DJ who spent most of her time producing music. Though she had doubts and conflicts about the production and felt like she wasn't giving it her all, so she wandered into the deep sea metro and willingly let herself be sanitized so she can fully devote herself to her music and go all out. Now scratch all of that because none of that was ever supposed to happen. Deadfish never should have existed, and none of this lore should ever have existed. And let me explain why. Not much is known about Deadfish other than that she was an octoling who essentially let herself get sanitized so she can fully devote herself to her music, and she was a very promising and upcoming DJ. However, there may be a reason to that. According to an interview done after the release of Octo Expansion, one of the main artists and directors of Octo Expansion, Saita Inoue, stated, "The songs were originally intended to be just background music, so I wasn't planning to give it a character for it to be created by, but I wound up really liking the music. Since it's background music, it doesn't get a lot of attention, but by setting it up in such a way, I thought it would add to the worldview and hopefully people would start to like it from there." So Deadfish came about because Inoue liked the music so much that he decided to just give the music an artist. All right, as we know, Splatoon, a lot of, if not all of the music in Splatoon is actually created by in-universe bands. So the music has a source in the lore. And that's one of the main reasons why Splatoon lore is so expansive and so different. The music in the game has in-universe bands to it. And that's the case with Deadfish. It was originally supposed to just be background music with no lore implications, but he liked it so much that he decided to give it a character. And I'm actually glad that he did, because Deadfish is my favorite artist in all of Splatoon. So just think how differently Octo Expansion and now Side Order would be if Deadfish never existed. If he didn't like the songs as much as he actually did, we never would have gotten Deadfish, and Side Order and Octo Expansion could have gone completely differently than what we already have. And now that there is a character behind the music that is being made in the lore, that also means that the music itself has lore and meaning. And that's what I wanted to go over. I wanted to go through all of Deadfish's songs and kind of describe and explain what they mean now that they have some actual significant backstory to them. The first song is Number 0 Shell. Now, this one is her very first song after being sanitized. And given by the name Shell, this could imply that she's breaking out of her former shell and into a brand new body. So she is sanitized. She's basically getting wiped of her personality and everything that she used to be to become a brand new person essentially and dedicate herself to her music. So she's basically breaking out of her shell, and the music kind of gives this eerie atmosphere, as it might not be too pleasant to like break out of her shell and become this new person. It would be kind of hard leaving everything behind and becoming something new. And although I doubt how I interpret these songs is the way that the developers intended for them to be seen or intended for them to mean, but for all of these songs, I'm just going over what I think these songs mean and how they are portrayed. Now, these next couple ones are kind of running with that whole breaking out of a shell and becoming a new person type of thing, because the next song is called Number 1 Progress. Now, obviously, this could be her sanitization progressing and taking over her body more and more, or it could be the progress of her breaking out of that shell and becoming that brand new person. And even the music is kind of all over the place, kind of to imply that she is further distancing from her old self, and it's all erratic and everywhere because nothing is defined right now. If the last one was the progress of her being separated from her shell, This one, number 2, Ripped, is her just being completely ripped apart from her old self, and the sanitization is starting to take effect now more than it did before. Because if you listen to the song, the lyrics, they sound almost kind of alien and unfamiliar. So that could be what Deadfish is feeling. She's being ripped from her former self, so everything around her is all alien and unrecognizable, or just this overall feeling of just not knowing anything really, which is a perfect transition into the next song, number 4, Dunno. It's as the name says, she doesn't really know anything anymore. She doesn't know what's going on around her. She doesn't know what's happening. That, or she doesn't know why she made this song or the way it is, because if you listen to it, it's kind of all over the place. You don't really know what's happening. It's just all these sounds clashing together. She doesn't know what's going on. Maybe she forgot how to produce music a little bit, so she doesn't know what she's doing. The sanitization is taking effect, but she will come back to her senses soon. This song, just, you don't really know what's happening. The next one, number 5, Thirsty, could be interpreted 2 ways. One of them is that she is thirsty for more sanitization. Now that her body is starting to get used to it, it's almost kind of like a drug and she wants more, so she's thirsty for more. But it could also be seen in the opposite way of that she's slowly starting to lose her, not consciousness, but her personality and who she is more and more, and she's kind of thirsting to have her old self back. She's thirsty to have of her feelings, her emotions, her consciousness, what made her her. She's thirsty and fiending to have that back again. Now this one, just like the last one, could play into both her wanting to be more sanitized and her fiending to get her old self back. Number 6, Frisk. Now this leans more on the side that she's accepting her sanitization and she's having fun with it. It's called number 6, Frisk. She's kind of feeling frisky, so she made an upbeat kind of party song with it, which will play into number 9, Party, when we get to that. But here, number 6, Frisk, she's feeling kind of frisky, she's feeling nice, she's feeling herself, all right? She's feeling good making this music, all right? Finally devoting herself to her music and making the type of music that she wants. So it gives you like a frisky, upbeat, happy type of feeling. Now, number 8, Regret, is probably her most popular song in and outside of the Splatoon universe. This is definitely the most interesting with the most implications. Now, number 8, Regret, is wildly different from everything else that came before and a large part of what came after. So this could be seen as her moment of clarity. Somehow during her sanitization, she came to the realization, it came back to reality and had a moment of clarity, like maybe getting sanitized wasn't the best idea and she's regretting it. And interestingly, I want you to listen to this part and see if it sounds familiar. If you didn't pick up on it, that's alright, because it took me multiple listens to realize what was happening, but I'm going to play it again, and this time sped up. Still nothing? Alright, I'm going to play it one more time, but with a little add-on. Hopefully this will help you realize what's going on. Although it's off key in a different speed and part of the melody is missing, this is very clearly the calamari incantation, which we know is used to basically break people free from trances and out of control or whatever. So Deadfish, coming to her moment of realization and her moment of clarity and regretting being sanitized, she put the calamari incantation in this song to hopefully have the other sanitized octolings come to the same realization and have calamari incantation break them out of their sanitization and escape, because she realized how terrible the sanitization is and it's not what she thought it was. And this is cool. It's kind of like a double calamari incantation, because like I showed you there, if you speed it up you can hear part of the melody of calamari incantation, but if you listen to the same part again at regular speed, you can hear that it sounds like the song is being cut, like there's been multiple cuts and the song is just being rejoined together. This could be because she played the actual calamari incantation in this song, but it got cut out and censored by Commander Tartar or whoever else. So even after that, she still somehow found a way to incorporate calamari incantation into that. I think this is a pretty cool song. It's definitely her deepest one in terms of meaning and just an overall relaxing song to listen to, but it's pretty depressing considering this is her moment of regret of getting sanitized. Well, here with number 9, Party, we can see that her sanitization is starting to take back over and her moment of clarity was ephemeral. Now, I said this was going to tie into number 6, Frisk, and as I already said with that one, it sounds kind of like party music, upbeat, happy party music, because the sanitization is taking over and she's not, you know, feeling herself anymore. So she's feeling good, she's feeling happy, creating the music like she wants. The sanitization is taking over her and clouding her from the real danger of sanitization, as she already came to in the last song. But sanitization is taking over again, so she went even harder, making this one an actual party song. It's named Party, so this feels like party music. So that feeling of just overwhelming happiness and feeling good is overtaking her even more as her sanitization progresses. The next song, number 11, Above, is still riding this high of feeling good. This song is very upbeat. It makes you kind of just bounce around. It sounds very triumphant and positive. And the name of it, Above, she kind of feels above everything else. She's on top of the world. She's making the music she wants to. She's in this ultimate peak form of just feel goodness. So she named it Above because she feels like she's above everything else. She's on top of the world. She's above everything. Nothing can bring her down. And it's just an ultimate, just overall very feel-good song. Number 12, Awake, is where I feel like the sanitization or the feel-goodness is starting to wear off a bit. These past couple songs, it kind of feels like she's entranced and she's just having a good time, not aware of all the terrible things going on around her, and she's not fully in control of herself. I feel like this is the point where the sanitization is starting to fully take over her and the last bits of herself are starting to float away, I guess, for lack of a better term. Number 12, Awake, this could be figurative for the new version of herself. The sanitized version of herself is starting to awaken, all right? And it's already awake and it's starting to take over her more and more. So it still kind of has that feel good type of vibe, but more relaxed and mellow, like her new self is starting to awaken. This next song, number 13, Shade, is actually my favorite Deadfish song. It goes so hard. It sounds like a rap song, which kind of makes sense considering Deadfish learned all of the genres of music. Since she devoted her entire life to her music and making it the best that it can be, it would make sense that she'd want to reach out to other genres and master as many as she can. And this one sounds like a rap song. The beat is so hard and the lyrics kind of give off this kind of rap vibe with the cadence and everything. And this one, despite it being my favorite, is probably the one I struggled the most with trying to figure out what it means. Now, It kind of sounds like shade is being thrown, hence the name number 13 Shade. I don't know, maybe she's throwing shade at her former self of who she used to be, but at this point she doesn't know who that is anymore. For all she knows, that dead fish never existed. Or it could be throwing shade at everyone who went against sanitization and didn't get sanitized. I'm not really too sure the meaning for this one, so if y'all could help me out, that would be pretty nice. Number 14 Crush is probably her most infamous and talked about song, just because of how insane, psychotic, and creepy it sounds. The lyrics are kind of creepy, the way the music is, nothing really flows into each other too nicely. It's kind of just abrupt with the different melody changes and everything. This song is very weird, but this is the point where the sanitization has fully taken over her body and every ounce of who she used to be is gone. There's nothing left. Now it's just the full sanitization and full dedication to the music. So the sanitization has taken over her and it's just going everywhere, all right? This song is just all over the place, and this is showing the full effect of the sanitization. Now, I'm not sure what the crush part in the name means. Maybe it's to symbolize that everything that she used to be, her former self, is all crushed now. The sanitization crushed her former self, and now she's no longer recognizable to herself. So I'm not really too sure what the crush part means or what's up with the lyrics, but this is definitely her most interesting and hard to explain songs. After thinking about this song for a little bit, number 16 Salty, it kind of helped me understand the last song, number 14 Crush, a bit more. So the happy, creepy, upbeat lyrics and singing we hear in that could be the sanitized octolings all loading up into the blender to go up to the promised land as far as they are aware. But then in reality, it's actually they're getting blended into the primordial ooze. So they're all happy to load up in there and go up to the promised land, and then they get blended. And Deadfish is seeing this happen, and she's getting all frantic and scared. So that's why this song sounds like very stress inducing and, you know, high heart rate. So she's terrified. She's terrified. She doesn't want to be blended. So it's a very frantic and fast-paced song. Now the salty part, I'm not really too sure where that's coming from. A stretch is that because octolings are cephalopods who live in the ocean, and the ocean's very salty, so there's going to be a lot of salt in the primordial ooze. I really am lost on the name for this one, but this is the moment where Deadfish realizes what the blender's actually for, and it's to blend the octolings, the sanitized octolings, into the primordial ooze. Her final numbered song, number 19, Bless. Now this one could have many meanings, all right? This could be she had finally escaped the deep sea metro and she's blessed to still be alive. And if you listen to the song, this is more of like a triumphant victory theme type of thing. And we can hear someone talking in the background of the song, and that could be Deadfish kind of giving like a speech, a motivational speech to keep pushing through, or kind of giving her thanks as she's blessed to still be alive. So she's praying or thanking whatever higher being there may be in the Splatoon universe. Or she had overcome her sanitization and regained her former self, all her personality, her memories, her emotions, everything. She had regained her former self and overcome the sanitization. So she's blessed to have her older self back, which that one kind of makes sense considering she's in side order now and she seems to be perfectly fine. She's talking without issue. She's talking about how her and Marina used to go way back. So she either has her memories back or that's just inconsistent, but I don't think they'd be that lazy with overlooking it. She most likely got her memories and her older self back and beat the sanitization, and she's blessed for that given this song. So side order coming in clutch to kind of prove some stuff from Octo expansion. But that's all of her numbered songs right now. And it's pretty obvious that some of the numbers are changing. These aren't in order. Some of the numbers are missing, such as 3, 7, 10, 15, 17, and 18. Those songs are nowhere to be found, and there's many theories to kind of explain that. And one of them is that those songs were censored by Commander Tartar or whoever else, but she had made that many songs, 19 songs, but some of them were censored because they're too strong in trying to convince or break the Octarians out of their sanitization state and revert them back to their older selves and getting them to escape, because if enough of them had overcome the sanitization and realized what is actually happening, they could overthrow Tartar and foil his plans. So he decided to censor some of those songs. Now, if that's true and she made so many songs that had to be censored, why didn't Commander Tartar just go after her and like try to kill her, throw her in the blender, silence her somehow or something? If that were the case, why wouldn't he come after her, since she's the one making all this music and has made multiple songs to try to break the Octarians out of their sanitization? Now that's my interpretation on all of those songs. All right, this isn't confirmed. This isn't exactly what those songs mean. These are just how I interpret them, and there's many different ways to interpret them. I also have different interpretations of these songs, but these are the ones that I am most confident in. Maybe her songs were meant to be left up to the interpretation of the players, considering they weren't actually supposed to have backstory or lore anyway, so they were left open-ended on purpose. But that's just what I think these songs are about, and I'm pretty confident in the answers. But yeah, that's really about it. I love Octo Expansion, I love Dead Fish. I just keep on going back and replaying it. It's just so great. Dead Fish, everything. Octo Expansion was such an amazing DLC, and Side Order is looking to be even better than that. So that's it. I can't wait for Side Order. I might make some more Octo Expansion videos, but that's it for now. I love Dead Fish. Stay safe. See you next mission and play some goddamn Splatty.